It is 2 in the morning. You know you need sleep. Your hand reaches for the phone anyway, and the part of the brain making that decision is not the part that knows better. That disconnect is not weakness. It is architecture. Beneath every conscious decision lies a deeper layer of neural circuitry. These systems were shaped over immense spans of time for a world of scarcity, immediate physical danger, and small, tightly bonded groups. They did not vanish with the arrival of cities, agriculture, or screens. They are still active, still scanning, still reaching, still reacting. The question is what happens when ancient wiring meets an environment it was never calibrated for. The human brain carries structures that predate language, writing, and recorded history by enormous margins. The amygdala, a small, almond-shaped cluster deep within each temporal lobe, continuously scans for threats. It reacts to danger in milliseconds, long before your conscious mind finishes forming an impression. Joseph LeDoux's research at New York University mapped this pathway in remarkable detail. He showed that sensory input races to the amygdala through a direct neural route that bypasses the thinking cortex entirely. This was a profound survival advantage in environments where a moment's hesitation could mean death. But in a world where threats arrive as headlines, notifications, and social comparisons, that circuit rarely switches off. Then there is the reward system. In the mid-1990s, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz discovered something unexpected about dopamine neurons in the midbrain. They do not simply fire when a reward arrives. They fire in anticipation, when a cue predicts that something valuable is coming. This prediction signal is the engine of pursuit. It tells an organism to keep searching, keep approaching, keep going. In ancestral environments, that signal was triggered by ripe fruit, fresh water, a successful hunt. Calorie-dense food was rare enough that stockpiling it, whenever possible, made profound sense. But something changed. What changed was not the brain. It was the environment. Modern food engineering can concentrate sugar, fat, and salt at levels no natural food source ever contained. A single processed snack delivers more caloric density than anything your deepest ancestors encountered in a week of foraging. The same principle governs the screen in your hand. The variable reward schedule of a scrolling feed, sometimes you find something meaningful, often you do not, exploits the exact dopamine mechanism Schultz identified. Each swipe carries the possibility of novelty, connection, or social validation. And the circuit cannot tell the difference between information that matters and information that merely feels like it should. Decades ago, the ethologist Nikolaas Tinbergen demonstrated this phenomenon with a concept he called supernormal stimuli. He showed that animals would preferentially pursue exaggerated versions of natural cues, a larger, more vividly colored artificial egg over their own, even when doing so served no useful purpose. Modern technology has produced supernormal versions of nearly every signal these ancient circuits were built to chase. The consequences are visible in daily life. Chronic anxiety is partly what happens when a threat detection system built for acute, short-lived danger is forced to process an endless stream of low-grade alarm. The compulsion to check a phone is not a character flaw. It is a prediction circuit responding exactly as designed, but to an environment engineered to overstimulate it. Novelty seeking, which once drove exploration and discovery, becomes the inability to look away. This does not mean you are powerless. Understanding the architecture changes your relationship to it. But much of what feels like personal failure, the inability to resist, to focus, to rest, is better understood as a mismatch between deep neural circuitry and an environment moving faster than any previous generation has ever experienced. You are not broken. You are running legacy code in a world that was built to exploit it. The same circuitry that pulls you toward a screen at 2 in the morning is, in its original context, the reason your ancestors survived. The wiring is not the enemy. It simply does not know what century it is in. Recognizing that, without shame, without panic, may be the first honest step toward living alongside a brain shaped for a world that no longer exists.